Hello, good morning, dear students. The topic of today's lecture is intensity of multiplet peaks. I mean, whatever the peaks generated by the splitting of a multiple or the multiplet signal, the intensity of the peaks would be different. And the intensity of the peak depends on the actually how many numbers of the protons are interacting or present in the neighborhood position, right? So in this class, we will discuss about the intensity of the peaks in a multiplet. The learning objectives of this lecture is to know the concept of peak intensity in multiplet, understanding the number and types of neighboring protons means actually the splitting of a signal into the certain or the various peaks. This depends upon the number of number and types of the protons present in the neighborhood position. Now the learning outcome of this lecture is students can identify the neighboring chemical environments in terms of proton. Means how many numbers of protons are present in the neighborhood in the neighborhood position of the in the compound, and types of the protons also can be determined. Okay, if we can determine the types of the proton or the number of proton, then we can easily determine the the types of the groups which is present in the neighborhood position of the particular proton for which we are taking the NMR signal, or the signal of which we are doing the study or analysis, right? And the student will be able to analyze the NMR spectra to determine the structure of organic compound. If we can determine this thing, we can analyze this thing that what type of the protons are present in the neighborhood position of the particular proton or the proton under investigation. Then we can easily determine the types of the group which are containing the proton or the hydrogen in the compound. So the topic is the intensity of multiplet peaks, and we can determine the intensities of peaks in a multiplet by using Pascal triangle. Actually, this triangle, which is made for the splitting of the signal or intensity of the peaks in a signal, can be determined on the basis of Pascal triangle. This is Pascal triangle. So according to the Pascal triangle, for singlet, if a signal is not splitted into various peaks, then the signal is called singlet, right? Multiplet is called the singlet. So the singlet, in the singlet, the only one peak in the signal, and if there is one peak in the signal, then the intensity is for the particular signal or the peak for the one peak is one, means 100%. And if the signal is splitted into doublet, if the signal is splitted into doublet means in two peaks, then the intensity of these two peaks are 1:1, right? Means whatever the intensity of the first peak would be the intensity of the same intensity would be the second peak, right? The third one is triplet. If a signal is splitted into three peaks, then the signal is called as triplet. And the interesting thing is that in case of triplet, the intensity of the first peak is 1, second peak ratio 2, and third peak is 1. Means first and third peak ratio is 1 1, but the second peak ratio is 2. Means the intensity of the second peak is just double to that of the intensity of the first and third peak. So it is just like a magic. How you can prove these things that the intensity is how what is the vision actually the behind this thing? Why intensity of the second peak is we are getting just double to that of the intensity of the first and third peak. So we will analyze this thing. We will do the study in this lecture about the the intensity of the peaks in a particular signal for the multiplet. Now the fourth is quadret. If a signal is splitted into four peaks, then the multiplet is called quartet. And in the quartet, the peak intensity the peak intensity is 1 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1. While in the case of quintet, quintet means there are 5 peaks in a signal, and these 5 peaks are the results of the interaction of particular proton for which this multiplet is obtained. So this is the result of the interaction of this proton with four neighboring protons, right? If a signal is if a signal is splitted into six peak, then it is called as sextet. Okay, the for quintet, the intensity of the peaks is in the ratio 4:1:4 ratio 6 ratio 4 ratio 1. While if there is the splitting of signal into six peak, then the multiplet is called as sextet. And if sextet of the multiplet is obtained, then the ratio of the peak intensity is 1:5 ratio 10 ratio 10 ratio 5 ratio 1. And if septet is obtained, means signal is splitted into 7 peaks by the interaction of this proton with the six protons. Then in that case, the signal is split into 7 peaks, and and the intensity of the peaks is in the ratio of 1 ratio 6 ratio 15 ratio 20 ratio 15 ratio 6 ratio 1. So actually the ratio of the intensity of the peak depends upon the spin orientation spin orientation which are interacting with the spin orientation of the proton. Means spin orientation of the spin orientation of the neighboring protons which are interacting with the two spin states or the two spin orientation of the particular proton for which these multiplets are obtaining. Okay, so if we draw a line in the outer circle, if we draw the line here, then we will found that, sorry, if we draw a outline, if you draw a outline here, then we will found that there is a formation of triangle. देखिए यहाँ पर जो ये जो ग्राफ बन रहा है, ये जो एक पिरामिड सा बन रहा है, just like a triangle, right? So since this is given by Pascal, so this is called Pascal triangle, right? And there is also the splitting of the signal into more than septet peaks. But generally, if there is splitting more than the septet, then in that case these peaks will merge into each other, and there is no clear separation of these peaks. Okay. Now the origin of spin splitting. Why this spin splitting is occur? I mean, why the splitting of the signal into various peaks is occur here? What is the reason behind it? So reason is the spin orientations. interaction of the spin orientations, right? So to understand this thing, here we are taking one example. This is R, means alkyl group. This is C, carbon number. This is numbered A. This is carbon number B. And one proton is present at this carbon A, Ca, means carbon A type of carbon means, right? So this is the proton, and the spin orientation of this proton is this. This is the spin orientation. This is the spin orientation. The spin is, suppose this is clockwise spin, right? This is clockwise spinning of this proton, this hydrogen, right? This proton. Okay. And so according to the clockwise rotation of this or clockwise spinning of this nucleus, there is the spin orientation according to this spin orientation, right? This spin states. So now for each type of interaction, actually for each type of interaction, there is formation of one spin state, right? For clockwise spinning of the proton, there is formation of plus half spin state. And for anti-clockwise spinning of the proton, there is formation of minus half spin states. And plus half spin state is the ground state, and it's low. It is of lower energy, means, and the minus half spin state is of higher energy, means this is excited states. So when we provide radio frequency radiations to the proton, then it's there is flipping of the the flipping of the spin state, right? Flipping of the spinning motion of the proton means it can in the ground state it is suppose rotating in the clockwise direction, then by getting the energy and it is excited into the excited and goes to the excited state, and in the excited state there is rotation anti-clockwise, right? So there is the flipping of the rotation from clockwise to the anti-clockwise, right? So this is the proton, and for which we are taking the signal, okay? And this is the proton at the neighborhood position, right? At the neighborhood position, and for this proton, the spin orientation is clockwise, right? Means spinning motion is clockwise, right? So and this proton also has the clockwise rotation. This has also clockwise rotation. So here the interaction between its spin orientation, spin orientation with the HB spin orientation is in the same direction. This is in the same direction. So when the this spin orientation, when these orientation interact to each other and they are in the same direction, then the induced magnetic field, actually due to the spinning motion of the nucleus, induced the magnetic field. Okay, there is the production of the magnetic field that is called induced magnetic field, right? So when neighboring proton is also of same spin state and interacting with this proton, then the signal of this proton will shift towards downfield. Why this is shifted into downfield? So actually, the induced magnetic field of this Hb protons reinforces the induced magnetic field of the Ha, right? So, uh, so actually, mm, for producing a signal of a particular proton, we have to uh, give a specific value of the magnetic field. I mean, जैसे for example हमारे पास H प्रोटॉन है, इसका मैग्नेटिक इसका जो सिग्नल मिलता है एनएमआर में वो 50 गोस मैग्नेटिक फील्ड पर मिलता है, राइट? And the induced magnetic field by this proton is suppose point 2 it point 2 goes, right? And the induced magnetic field of Hb proton is also point 2 goes, right? So actually the induced magnetic field of the Hb proton reinforces the induced magnetic field of the Ha proton. So the magnetic field which is applied to get the signal of this proton is suppose 50, and 50 Gauss is required. 50 Gauss is required, and we put this 50 Gauss magnetic field. But here, this induced magnetic field reinforces the applied magnetic field. Okay, so this is 50 हमने अप्लाई किया है, और सपोज 0.2 गोस इसका इसे प्रोड्यूस हुआ है, तो 0.2 गोस इसमें एडअप हो जाएगा. तो एडअप हो जाएगा तो क्या हो जाएगा, इसका जो इस प्रोटॉन पर जो फील्ड पहुंचेगा, मींस द एक्सपीरियंस्ड फील्ड बाय दिस प्रोटॉन is 50.2, while the required magnetic field is 50. So in that case, we have to reduce the magnetic field. We have to reduce the magnetic field by 0.2 Gauss, right? As per the requirement. So due to the due to this clockwise rotation of this proton, or the interaction of this proton with the clockwise orientation of this proton, there is shifting of the signal into the downfield side, right? While if we see the second case, here the spinning motion of this proton is clockwise. Okay, this is clockwise, means this is going upward side. This is going, suppose we see here, the arrow is going upward side, just like this, right? This is upward side. Okay, and applied the, the direction of the magnetic external magnetic field is also in the upward direction, or the clockwise direction, we can say, right? When this proton, which is spinning in the clockwise direction, interact with the spin which is anti-clockwise direction, which is in anti-clockwise direction, then actually anti-clockwise direction spinning this Hb proton oppose the applied magnetic field, because the direction of the applied magnetic field is upward. This is upward, but the induced magnetic field generated by Hb proton is downwards. So this oppose the applied magnetic field. So suppose जो हमारे पास इस प्रोटॉन का स्पेक्ट्रल लेने के लिए हमें 50 गोस, वही एक्सटर्नल मैग्नेटिक फील्ड की रिक्वायरमेंट है, लेकिन पहुंच कितना रहा है, पहुंच वहां पे कितना रहा है, यहाँ से एच बी प्रोटॉन, जो इंड्यूस्ड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड है एच बी प्रोटॉन का, वो है 0.2 गोस सपोज. तो 50 माइनस 2, बिकॉज 0.2 गोस इंड्यूस्ड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड एक्सटर्नल मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को क्या कर रहा है, अपोज कर रहा है. तो इस एच ए प्रोटॉन पर जो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड पहुंचेगा, वो कितने पहुंचेगा, 50 माइनस 0.2 गोस मीन्स 49.8 गोस फील्ड पहुंचेगा. ठीक है, तो और इतने 49.8 गोस फील्ड पर हमारा जो प्रोटॉन है वो सिग्नल नहीं देता है. देयर इज रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द 50 गोस. सो वी हैव टू इंक्रीज नाउ 0.2 गोस फर्दर. तो हमें 0.2 गोस फिर से इंक्रीज करना पड़ेगा. तो फिर से इंक्रीज करेंगे तो हमें चाहिए तो 50 गोस था, बट हम कितना लगा रहे हैं, कितना अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, 50.2 गोस फील्ड अप्लाई कर रहे हैं. मीन्स हमारा जो सिग्नल है वो हाई फील्ड पर मिल रहा है. ओके, तो कोई भी प्रोटॉन जब नेबरिंग प्रोटॉन के क्लॉकवाइज स्पिन के साथ इंटरेक्शन करता है, तो हमारा सिग्नल डाउन फील्ड में शिफ्ट हो जाता है. और एंटी क्लॉकवाइज स्पिन ओरिएंटेशन के साथ इंटरेक्शन करता है, तो सिग्नल अप फील्ड में शिफ्ट हो जाता है. ठीक है, so this is the basic things that a signal is splitted into the different peak. And now what number of the peaks generates, this depends upon the spin number of spin orientation of the protons which are present in the neighborhood position. So now the chemicals, this is the, to understand this thing, we are taking here this spectra. This is this dotted line. This dashed line is the chemical shift of proton. The chemical shift of proton A if proton B were absent. Suppose we have a X type of molecule. X type of molecule we have. Okay. And in the X type of molecule, there are two types of proton, right? Proton A and proton B. Proton A and proton B, right? In the absence of proton B, the signal of the proton A is this. This is the signal, right? Now, if if there is presence of proton B, then then if the proton B has spin aligned with applied field, if the proton B has spin aligned with applied field, then it will deshield the proton. It will deshield the proton A. If this deshield the proton A, then in that case the signal of the proton A shifted downfield towards downfield. Okay, so this is the downfield shifting of this signal, right? And if the spin of the proton B is aligned, not aligned, this is opposed to the applied field, then in that case the our just the signal is shifted towards a field direction, right? So this is the so now this is the actually the fundamentals of the splitting of the this signal into these two peaks. Okay, तो कोई भी प्रोटॉन जो है उस प्रोटॉन के नेबरहुड में प्रेजेंस प्रोटॉन जो है ये हाइड्रोजन जो भी है उस हाइड्रोजन का स्पिन अप्लाइड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड के डायरेक्शन में है या फिर अपोजिट में है। यदि उसके सेम डायरेक्शन में है तो हमारा सिग्नल डाउन फील्ड में शिफ्ट हो जाएगा, और जब अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में है तो हमारा सिग्नल अप फील्ड साइड में शिफ्ट हो जाएगा। बिकॉज एक्चुअली कोई सपोज दिस इज द न्यूक्लियस, दिस इज द न्यूक्लियस, ओके, दिस इज द न्यूक्लियस एंड न्यूक्लियस के अराउंड है यहाँ पर हमारे पास इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, राइट, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स। तो ये जो न्यूक्लियस है इस न्यूक्लियस की स्पिन की फ्लिपिंग के लिए हम यहाँ पे से फील्ड अप्लाई करते हैं, कोई एक्सटर्नल फील्ड अप्लाई करते हैं। सपोज इधर से नीचे से हम एक्सटर्नल फील्ड अप्लाई करते हैं, राइट। तो हम एक्सटर्नल फील्ड अप्लाई करेंगे तो एक्सटर्नल फील्ड को जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहाँ पर इस न्यूक्लियस के अराउंड है वो अपोज करेगा। मीन्स वो उस एक्सटर्नल फील्ड को, ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन है ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहाँ तक नहीं पहुंचने देंगे, क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन का खुद का भी अपनी स्पिनिंग मोशन होता है। इस स्पिनिंग मोशन की वजह से ये फील्ड इंड्यूस होता है, फील्ड जनरेट होता है। जो फील्ड जनरेट होता है वो फील्ड इसको अपोज करता है, किसको, अप्लाइड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को। मीन्स इस प्रोटॉन को वो सील्ड कर देता है, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो होते हैं इस प्रोटॉन को सील्ड कर देते हैं। तो जिस प्रोटॉन को सील्ड कर देंगे तो कोई भी एक्सटर्नल फोर्स इस पर इजीली ऑपरेट नहीं होगा, इजीली नहीं पहुंच पाएगा। तो इजीली नहीं पहुंच पाएगा तो फिर हमें और भी फील्ड इंक्रीज करना पड़ेगा। तो एक्चुअली कोई भी प्रोटॉन के लिए प्रोटॉन का जो सिग्नल है फील्ड में मिलेगा या डाउन फील्ड में मिलेगा, कम फील्ड में मिलेगा या फिर हाई एक्सटर्नल मैग्नेटिक फील्ड में मिलेगा। ये डिपेंड करता है कि इस न्यूक्लियस के अराउंड इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी कितनी है। इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी कम है या इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी ज्यादा है। यदि इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी ज्यादा है तो हमें हाई फील्ड अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, मीन्स अपोजिंग फोर्स, क्योंकि हाई इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी होगी तो एक्सटर्नल मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को अपोज करेगी, राइट। राइट, तो यहाँ पर भी सेम केस है। जब इन प्रोटॉन्स का जो नेबरहुड में प्रेजेंट है उनकी स्पिन अपोजिट होती है, तो जो इंड्यूस्ड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड जनरेट होता है इस प्रोटॉन के अराउंड वो क्या होता है, अपोजिट फोर्स। ऐसा फोर्स जनरेट होता है जिसकी डायरेक्शन अप टू डाउन है, अप टू डाउन है। और जो हमने फील्ड इस पर अप्लाई किया है उसकी डायरेक्शन क्या है, डाउन टू अप, राइट। तो जो इंड्यूस्ड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड जो अप टू डाउन की ओर जा रहा है वो इसको कुछ हद तक अपोज कर देता है। तो जितना ही अपोज करता है उतना ही फील्ड हमें फिर और भी इस पर अप्लाई करना पड़ता है, मतलब इंक्रीज करना पड़ता है। मतलब ये जो सिग्नल है अब फील्ड में शिफ्ट हो जाता है, राइट। और सपोज जो प्रोटॉन है उस प्रोटॉन की जो जो स्पिनिंग मोशन है वो भी क्लॉकवाइज है। क्लॉकवाइज मीन्स डाउन टू अपवर्ड साइड है, और अप्लाइड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड भी डाउन टू अपवर्ड साइड है। तो इस अप्लाइड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को ये क्या करता है, इंड्यूस मैग्नेटिक फील्ड रेनफोर्स करता है, मतलब इंक्रीज कर देता है। तो सपोज हम क्या फील्ड लगाते जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, 50 गोस की रिक्वायरमेंट है। हमने सपोज इंड्यूस मैग्नेटिक फील्ड की वैल्यू सपोज 0.5 गोस है, राइट। तो जैसे जैसे हम इस पर फील्ड इंक्रीज करते जाएंगे, जैसे हमारा फील्ड 49.5 आएगा, 49.5 आएगा तो 5 इंड्यूस मैग्नेटिक फील्ड का भी इसमें ऐड हो जाएगा, तो 49.5 प्लस 5 मिलकर कितना हो जाएगा, 50 गोस हो जाएगा। तो 49.5 पर ही हमारा सिग्नल मिलने लग जाता है, मतलब इस न्यूक्लियस की फ्लिपिंग होने लग जाती है और हमें सिग्नल मिलने लग जाता है, ठीक है। तो ये जो है कोई भी जो सिग्नल है डाउन फील्ड में जाएगा। मीन्स हमारे जो स्केल है सपोज इधर डाउन फील्ड है, इधर अप फील्ड है, ठीक है। अप फील्ड है तो हमारे साइड यदि सिग्नल इधर जा रहा है इट मीन्स डाउन फील्ड में जा रहा है, और इधर जा रहा है तो अप फील्ड में जा रहा है, जैसा कि यहाँ पे ग्राफ में दिख रहा है, राइट। नाउ द केमिकल shift of protons Ha is affected by the spin of its neighbors, right? Yes. The chemical shift of protons Ha is affected by the spin of its neighbors. जैसा कि हम यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं कि सपोज वी हैव दिस कंपाउंड एंड दिस इज द प्रोटॉन and means we are analyzing the signal of this proton, right? And the in the neighborhood position, Ha proton is present, right? So, since here, if if the Ha proton interact with the plus half spin, Ha proton is interact with the plus half spin of this neighboring proton then in that case its signal, the signal of this Ha proton is shifting towards this side, downfield side. While because the direction of this applied magnetic field B0 and the direction of this proton is in same side. So the induced magnetic field uh, generated by the spinning of this proton is reinforcing this applied magnetic field. That's why our signal is shifting towards downfield, right? And if this proton, CH proton, interacting with the minus of means anticlockwise spin of this HA, then actually the anticlockwise spin direction is the opposite to that of the applied magnetic field. So this opposes the applied magnetic field, and the signals shifted towards downfield. Sorry, towards upfield. Okay. So whenever the neighboring proton oppose the applied magnetic field, then our signal shifted towards upfield side, and whenever the neighboring proton uh, uh, the increase the applied magnetic field or enforces the applied magnetic field, then in that case the signal is shifted towards downfield side. Okay. Now at any given time, about half of the molecule in solution will have spin plus half, and the other half will have spin minus half. So actually at a given time, at a particular time, कोई भी जो न्यूक्लियस होता है ना, उस न्यूक्लियस की जो स्पिनिंग होती है पर्टिकुलर गिवन टाइम पर भी जो होती है उसकी जो स्पिनिंग होती है वो प्लस हाफ भी होती है और माइनस हाफ भी होती है। सपोज हमारे पास हम यूं कहें कि हमारे पास जो प्रोटोन है, सपोज 50 प्रोटोन है, ठीक है। तो 50 प्रोटोन में से 25 की प्लस हाफ स्पिनिंग होगी एट अ टाइम, और दूसरी की जो होगी वो माइनस हाफ होगी। ओके, माइनस हाफ होगी तो ओवरऑल जो स्पिनिंग होगी वो क्या हो जाएगी, उनकी जीरो हो जाएगी। ओवरऑल स्पिनिंग क्या हो जाएगी, जीरो हो जाएगी, राइट। सो दिस इज द splitting of this signal, dotted line signal, into two peaks, right? So actually, 50% of the molecule, 50% of the molecule are present in clockwise direction, and 50% of the proton, 50% of the molecule are present in anti-clockwise direction, right? So that's the reason why the intensity means जितने स्पिन ओरिएंटेशन क्लॉकवाइज वाले बनेंगे उतने एंटी क्लॉकवाइज वाले बनेंगे, ठीक है। तो इसका जो इंटरेक्शन होगा एच प्रोटॉन का, वो क्लॉकवाइज वाले के साथ जितना इंटरेक्शन होगा उतना एंटी क्लॉकवाइज वाले के साथ होगा। तो जितनी पीक इंटेंसिटी डाउनफील्ड शिफ्ट वाली पीक की आएगी उतनी ही इंटेंसिटी अपफील्ड शिफ्ट वाली पीक की भी मिलेगी, राइट। दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई द पीक इंटेंसिटी In case of one proton in the neighborhood position, the intensity of the peaks, I mean the doublets, is in equal ratio. Okay. Now spin arrangement. This can be explained on the basis of spin arrangements. So we are taking the this spectra of this. We will discuss the thing. Okay. We are taking the spectra of this compound, this proton, CH proton. Okay. And this CH proton is present in the neighborhood position of this proton. Okay. So according to the n+1 rule, a signal is split into various peak according to the n+1 rule. So according to n+1 rule, the n is the number of proton present in the neighborhood position, right? So in the neighborhood position, one proton is present. So means value of n is 1. So 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. So in the if one proton is interacting with the one neighborhood proton, then there is splitting of the signal into two peaks. So why this is in two peaks? So actually, if you talk about this proton has two spin orientation. One is clockwise and second is anti-clockwise. Okay. So when this proton interact with this spin of this proton, neighborhood proton, this spin, then since the spinning motion of this proton or the field induced by this proton is upward direction, and the plate field is also in the upward direction, means they are in same direction. So our signal is shifted into downfield shift direction. Okay, downfield side. And when this proton interact with this anti-clockwise spin, or this spin which is opposite to the applied magnetic field, then our signal will shift towards upward direction. Okay, this is also for the same, means for this proton. Actually, this proton is also interact with the spin orientation of these protons. Okay, to spin orientation of this proton. So if we are taking the signal of this proton, then it will also interact with the two spin orientation of this proton. Okay, one spin orientation of this, and second spin orientation is this. So when this proton interact with the this spin state, this means clockwise spin state of the neighborhood proton, means this proton, then its signal is shifted towards downfield side. And when this proton interacts with the anti-clockwise spin of this proton, then its signal is shifted towards upfield side. Okay. The resonance position uh, splitting of a given hydrogen is affected by the possible spin of its neighbors. So how many peaks will generate by the splitting of the signal? It depends upon the spin orientation. How it depends on the spin orientation, means how many spin orientations are formed formed of the neighboring proton. So actually for neighboring proton there is only two spin orientation. So means our signal of this proton will split into two peaks. Okay. If if there are two hydrogens, then there will be the three spin orientations, like this we can see in this slide. These are the spin orientation of protons. So if we want to take this signal for this protons. So for this proton in the neighborhood position there are two protons. Okay, so for two protons the spin orientations are n according to n plus 1. So n is the number of protons, so the number of protons are 2, so 2 plus 1 is equals to 3, means number of This number of spin orientation formed are 3. So 3 spin orientation will interact with this proton. 3 spin orientation of these neighboring protons interact with this proton, and when this proton interact with the 3 spin orientation of this neighboring proton, then its signal is splitted into 3 peaks, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, where this one peak, middle peak does not show shifting. Actually, it does not shift towards downward upward direction, means there is no shifting. So why this there is no shifting in the middle peak, and in the middle peak can be explained by these spin orientation. So this is the first orientation of these two protons. There may be the clockwise spinning of both the proton. So this is one pair of these protons, and there may be the possibility of that both the protons are in anti-clockwise direction. Spinning of both the proton is in anti-clockwise direction, and spinning of the both the proton is in clockwise direction. And there is also the possibility that one proton spin is in clockwise direction and another's spinning is in anti-clockwise direction. Or there is also the possibility that one has clockwise rotation and second has anti-clockwise rotation. So there are two spin pairs. There are two spin pairs which are opposite to each other. Okay, which are opposite to each other. So when the spin orientation of this proton interact with the spin orientations of this proton, these two protons, then when if this will interact with the spin orientation, this clockwise spin orientation of those two protons, then its signal will shift towards downfield side. And when this interact with the anti-clockwise spin orientation of this neighboring proton, then our signal is shifted towards a field side. But when the spin orientation of this proton interact with the spin orientation of these protons, this proton interact with the spin orientation of these two protons, then in that case there is no shifting of the signal, because for example, suppose this increase the applied magnetic field, then this decrease the applied magnetic field. And if this will decrease the applied magnetic field, then this orientation increase the applied magnetic field. So actually, one is increasing the applied magnetic field and second one is decreasing the applied magnetic field. So they cancel out the increasing and decreasing or the changing in the applied magnetic field. Means जितना हम field apply करेंगे इस प्रोटॉन के सिग्नल गेन करने के लिए हम जितना फील्ड अप्लाई करेंगे ना, उतना ही फील्ड इस प्रोटॉन पर पहुंचेगा। कब? जब ये प्रोटॉन इन नेबरिंग प्रोटॉन के इन बीच वाले जो स्पिन पेयर्स हैं इनके साथ इंटरेक्शन करेगा, क्योंकि इनका इसके इन ओरिएंटेशन का इसकी जो स्पिन स्टेट है इस प्रोटॉन की, इस पर कोई भी इफेक्ट नहीं होगा, और कोई इफेक्ट नहीं होगा तो इसका सिग्नल एज इट इज मिलेगा जहाँ पे मिलता है। बट सिंस दिस प्रोटॉन इज इंटरेक्टिंग विद टू पेयर्स ऑफ दीज टू प्रोटॉन, तो दो पेयर के साथ जब इंटरेक्शन करेगा तो इसका जो सिग्नल है वो भी डबल रहेगा। यहाँ पे एक ही पेयर था तो एक पेयर के साथ सिग्नल कर रहा था, तो हमारे पास जो है एक ही मतलब जो जो इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द सिग्नल थी वो कितनी आ रही थी, हाफ आ रही थी किससे, इसके कंपेरिजन में। और यहाँ पे भी एक ही पेयर था तो हाफ आ रही थी, यहाँ दो पेयर बन रहे हैं तो यहाँ पे क्या है, डबल आ गए। तो कोई भी जो पेयर स्पिनिंग पेयर बने हैं, स्पिन ओरिएंटेशंस बने हैं, इन स्पिन ओरिएंटेशन कितने स्पिन ओरिएंटेशन के साथ प्रोटॉन इंटरेक्ट कर रहा है उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि जो इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द पीक है वो क्या होगी, उनका रेशियो क्या होगा, राइट। एंड दिस कैन आल्सो बी एक्सप्लेन्ड more clearly than another example, and this is more complex example somewhat. So these are the spin orientation of the spin orientation of the protons. Like this is the compound and here there are two protons. One means we are observing the signal of these two protons, okay. these two protons are identical, and for identical protons we get only one signal. Okay, so but this one signal is splitted into various peaks by their interaction with these protons and the spin orientation of these protons. So for three protons, the spin orientations are 4 according to n plus 1 rule, because here n is equal to 3, so n plus 1 is equal to कितना होगा? This is 4, right? So if there are 4 spin orientation of the neighboring protons, then there are the splitting of the signal into 4 peaks, right? So there are the 4 peaks, means this signal of these protons is split into 4 peaks. So now the intensity of these peaks is in the ratio of 1 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1. This intensity, this height, ये जो height है इनकी, इनके हम रेशियो देखें तो फर्स्ट एंड फोर्थ पीक का जो रेशियो है उसके कंपैरिजन में सेकंड एंड थर्ड पीक का जो रेशियो है वो ट्रिपल टाइम ज्यादा है, राइट? वो क्यों है? क्योंकि देखिए यहाँ पर एक स्पिन ओरिएंटेशन कब बने, स्पिन पेयर कब बनेगा कि जब तीनों की तीनों प्रोटॉन, ऑल थ्री प्रोटॉन्स हैव क्लॉकवाइज स्पिनिंग, राइट? तो हमारे पास एक स्पिन पेयर ये बन गया। दूसरा कि ऑल थ्री प्रोटॉन क्लॉकवाइज रोटेशन, तो कौन सा बन गया? दिस इज यार ये कौन सा बन गया? दिस इज एंटी क्लॉकवाइज पेयर, एंड दीज टू pairs, two types of pairs are there. Here one proton is spinning in clockwise direction, so one is an anti-clockwise direction and two are anti-clockwise direction, while in the next orientation the one proton is spinning in clockwise direction, while one first and third are clockwise direction and second is in anti-clockwise direction. And another spin pair is that where first and third protons are in anti-clockwise direction, while the second proton is in clockwise direction. So, and in the another spin orientations, this is the spin pair where one is in clockwise direction and two are in anti-clockwise direction, and two are in clockwise and one is anti-clockwise direction, and two are in anti-clockwise and one is in clockwise direction. So if we see here that there are three spin pairs, so these proton interact with these three spin pairs. So when these proton interact with these three spin pairs, then the signal intensity will be triple than that of the interaction of this proton with this one pair. So one pair के साथ इंटरेक्शन होगा तो स्पिन की इंटेंसिटी, सॉरी पीक की इंटेंसिटी भी उतनी आएगी, और ये थ्री पीक्स के साथ और थ्री स्पिन पेयर के साथ इंटरेक्शन होगा तो पीक की इंटेंसिटी भी, राइट? सो नाउ बट यहाँ पे देखिए हम each spin pairs the protons are in clockwise direction, two protons are in clockwise direction and one is in anti clockwise direction, ठीक है? तो दो क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में है, एक एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में है, तो इसकी वजह से सिग्नल होगा, ये सिग्नल ये डाउन फील्ड में जाएगा, तो दिस इज इन डाउन फील्ड, राइट? एंड ये सिग्नल अप फील्ड में मिलेगा बिकॉज देयर आर टू प्रोटॉन्स इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन, तो एक प्रोटॉन की स्पिन तो दूसरी प्रोटॉन की स्पिन के सबको, जैसे ये अपोजिट है एक दूसरे के तो ये कैंसिल आउट कर देंगे, बट एक प्रोटॉन की इस क्लॉकवाइज स्पिनिंग की वजह से सिग्नल डाउन फील्ड में जाएगा। यहाँ पर भी सेम है, यहाँ पे भी दो प्रोटॉन क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में, तो एक अपोजिट वाला एंटी क्लॉकवाइज स्पिन वाला क्लॉकवाइज स्पिन वाले का जो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड है उसको कैंसिल आउट कर देगा, बट जो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड इंड्यूस होगा, रिजल्टिंग मैग्नेटिक फील्ड, वो क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में होगा, और क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में होगा तो हमारा सिग्नल डाउन फील्ड में शिफ्ट होगा, राइट? एंड यहाँ पर देखिए हम तो दो प्रोटॉन एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में, एक क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में है, राइट? मीन्स इन ईच पेयर टू प्रोटॉन्स आर इन एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन and one is in anti-clockwise direction, so their signal will shift towards a field side, right? So there are the four peaks in the multiplet due to the presence of three protons or four spin pair of these protons. And if you take the spectra of signal of these three protons, then they will interact with the three spin pairs of these two protons, right? So these are three spin pairs of two protons, and the signal of these three protons is splitting into three peaks because there are three spin pairs of these two protons according to n plus 1 rule. So the signal of CS3 protons is splitted into triplet, three peaks means triplet, right? These are the reference books Y.R. Sharma Elementary Organic Spectroscopy, and this is from S. Chand publication, and this is the PDF link. If you if you copy paste this link on Google, then you can get PDF of this book, right? And this is Robert Silverstein, Spectrometric Identification of Organic Compounds, and this is the PDF link of this reference book. Now these are the MCQs. So the first MCQ is what will be the relative intensities of the pig in quadrate? So we have already discussed the things that the intensity of the pigs in a quadrate is 1 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1. So option B is the correct option. And the second question is the multiplicity and relative intensity of the pig can easily be obtained by. This can be easily obtained by Pascal triangle. And what will be relative intensity of the pig in quintet? So in case of quintet, the relative intensity is in 1 ratio. This is the cursor is not working. Why this is not working? This is for quintet 1 ratio 4 ratio 6 ratio 4 ratio 1, and for sextet this is. So this is the what will be the answer? This will be the answer 1 ratio 4 ratio 6 ratio 4 ratio 1. That will be the answer. And for fourth question, the multiplicity and relative intensity of the peak obtained for CS3, CWO, CS2, CS3. So the multiplicity and relative intensity of the peak. Okay. So the multiplicity for these protons are actually for first type of proton CS3. There is the appearance of singlet, and for CS2 protons there is triplet. There is quadrate, and for CS3 there is the appearance of, I mean, the splitting of the uh, right, splitting of the signal into the no, triplet. Okay. Now next question is correct statement for splitting of signal in 2-propanone. So in the 2-propanone, the correct statement is actually for CST proton, the signal is splitted into the in the this is not splitted actually. This there is the appearance of singlet, and for CS2 protons there is appearance of quartet, and for CST proton there is appearance of triplet due to the actually the spin interaction of these neighboring protons. The signal of a proton is split into dot 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 peaks if two known identical protons are present in neighborhood position. So the signal of a proton, in how much peaks it will be splitted if two non-identical protons are present. So if two protons are present in neighborhood position, then signal is splitted into according to n plus 1 rule, means 2 plus 1 into the three peaks, right? So triplet will be observed here, right? And if in the neighborhood position there are four non-identical protons to that of the a proton, then the signal of a proton will be splitted into quintet according to n plus 1 rule. Means four proton are there, so the n value of n is 4. So 4 plus 1 is equals to 5. So 5 is spin orientation will be there, and if there are 5 spin orientation, then the interaction of the proton with the 5 spin orientations, and there would be the splitting of the signal into 5 peaks, right? Now tell this, how many spin orientation will form for methylene protons? So how many spin orientation will form for methylene proton? So actually for methylene protons are CH2 protons, right? So for CH2 protons, there are 3 spin orientation. For 2 protons, there are formation of 3 spin orientation according to the n plus 1 rule. Okay, so this is, I think you have learned about the intensity of the peaks in a signal by this lecture, and mm, if you have any type of doubt, any type of query, then you can ask to me. Okay, thank you.